Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Before the Ramadan, we was doing the Seerah of Rasulullah Islam in the stage of Battle of the Tabuq, and we did two parts of the Battle of the Tabuq. And then for the Ramadan, we probably lost 6 weeks altogether. So inshallah today we'll finish the Battle of the Tabuq. And as we described before, the Battle of the Tabuq is one of the last battle of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After this one, there was no battle in his life, because this is almost in the 9th year of the Hijrah, the beginning of the 9th year of the Hijrah. And this battle, as we mentioned before, there was no battle, but it was, and we don't know the exact reason why Rasulullah taking so many people, so many Sahaba together with him, and went so far from the Medina to the place of Tabuq, which is very close to the Syria up north, and almost 10,000, some books says 12,000, some say 15,000. So we don't know the exact number, but there's a lot of people, a lot of Sahaba, because at that time, as you know, that Fateh Makkah has been done, a lot of people has accepted Islam, all the tribes around the Medina and Makkah, they have already become Muslims. So a lot of people went with this battle, and this battle was one of the battles that was Fard Ain, meaning that everybody has to take part in the battle. So inshallah ta'ala will, and as we say that there's no actual battle, so there's no description of the battle, but in this journey of almost 2 or 3 months, the whole journey was 2-3 months. So he went there, he stayed there for 20 days, some say 21, 22 days, and then he came back from there. So the whole thing was almost 2 months or more than 2 months, and there's a lot of things happen in this event, because this is one of his last event, and he spent so much time with so many people. So Rasulullah described a lot of hadith, a lot of fiqh issues happen in the time of the Battle of the Tabuq. So we'll just describe few things from here and there, and we'll see like these events. Maybe you heard of this hadith, but now you know that this hadith came from this incident, like this Battle of the Tabuq. So inshallah ta'ala we'll start with that. The first one, actually, the hadith of the 5 gifts of Rasulullah, meaning one day when he was staying in the Tabuq, he woke up in the morning and he gave a small khutbah. Like if after every prayer he used to give the khutbah or khatira. So he said, Allah has given me 5 blessings or 5 gifts. And what are the 5 gifts? The first gift that I have been sent to the whole of the humanity. So all other prophets were sent to the small group of people or a large group of people, a specific group of people. But for Rasulullah he was sent for the whole human beings and also for the jinn. So that is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's number 1. Number 2, he said that Allah has given me a blessings that my enemy will be fear of me at least a month journey. Meaning that suppose Rasulullah is going for a battle or something, and the enemy will have some fear inside him, and Rasulullah is still a 1 month journey ahead. So something like this, so that Allah has put fear in the enemy of Rasulullah, they already got scared, and that's why in most of the battle Rasulullah win convincingly, because of this fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the enemy of Rasulullah. So that is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 3, he said that the whole world has made a musalla for my ummah. Meaning what? That some of the previous nation, even today, Jewish, they cannot pray at their home. Even some tradition of the Jewish, if they want to pray, they have to go to the synagogue. For the church also, they have different version of the Christianity, But they are also the Orthodox people. They have to go on Sunday to the church and this and that and all these things they made up. But for us, as you all know, we can pray anywhere we like, as long as we purify ourselves, we do wudu, and even if we can do wudu, we have the tayammum and all these facilities from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can do that, we can pray, except for 2 places, and that we are not allowed to pray in the graveyard, and also in the toilet or system, but that's obviously understandable. But other than that, we don't have to come to masjid, like if you're in a journey or anywhere, we can just pray anywhere, on the grass, on the lawn, on the side of the beach, or wherever we get. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this place for us. So this is number 3. Number 4 was, Rasulullah said, the ganima. What is ganima means? Ganima means after you do the battle, you get the property from the enemies and everything, whatever you conquered there. That was made halal for my ummah. So in previous nation, during the time of Musa alayhi salam, and even the previous prophets and Rasul, when you had a battle for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you got the ganima, you got the property from the other side, what they used to do, they used to put it in the middle and they used to stand around that, and the light ball used to come and finish all the ganima. And that is the sign at that time from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that your jihad has been accepted. That was the sign. So they are not allowed to take those property. Those property was put in the middle, and a thundering bolt came, and this is mentioned in the hadith, and also there's some indication in the Quran also, some ayah. This is what used to happen. So for the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ganima made halal for him. And the last thing was, it was that the udu, as you said, the masalla and the ganima. And the last thing is that he asked actually himself, do you know what is the last gift Allah give us? So he asked the Sahaba, and Sahaba said, no, Ya Rasulullah, we don't know what is this. He said, they know whoever said La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, I will be able to give a dua from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is I don't even know. So Allah give a special dua to each prophet or each Rasul. There is a special dua, what you want. And Allah give it to Rasulullah. Rasulullah, no, I don't want it now, give me at the day of judgment. So on that day, he will do shafa. It's called shafa to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So on that day, he will do the intercession on behalf of us, and he will make that special dua, and he don't even know the wordings now. Allah will put the wordings in the mouth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at that time, and everybody who were Muslim in the heart, eventually they will enter Jannah inshallah ta'ala. So these are the 5 gifts, and this is the hadith he said in that time. Another hadith very similar, he made 6 prediction. One of the morning he woke up and he said, I have 6 prediction, 6 things will happen, and you will see it in your time before the day of judgment. What is the first thing? The sign of the first the day of judgment. You probably know that the first sign of the day of judgment is Mauti. Mauti means my death. So Rasulullah said, my death is the first sign of the day of judgment. So that is one of the first thing that he said. Then he said that Fateh Baitul Maqdis, the conquering of Jerusalem, and that's already happened in the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab. They conquered the Baitul Maqdis. And then the third thing he said that after Baitul Maqdis there will be a time a big plague will come. So actually he said 2 plagues will come. Plague means like any kind of big disease, and it will wipe up a lot of my ummah. And some of the scholars say that this has already happened in the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab. There was a big plague, some kind of disease, and people start from Medina to Syria even. Lot of people died. A lot of big Sahaba passed away in that plague. So that is one of the events, and then some other events happened in the past, or it could happen later on. We don't know that, but as some prediction, that there's 2 plague will happen for this ummah that will wipe out a lot of people in this world. And the 4th thing he said, Baitul Aqsal, means the abundance of the wealth. And we can see that now. That he said the ummah will get so much of wealth that if you give zakah to someone, even for 1,000 dinar, at that time they had the dinar. 1,000 dinar and current time is like $1,000 or $5,000, something like that, $10,000. So even if you give this, they will say, no, that's not nothing. $10,000 is nothing for me. I cannot maybe spend 1 month or 2 months, something like this. So he said the ummah will have so much of money. And you can all see now, the Muslim world, even we here in Sydney and in Australia, Canada, America, alhamdulillah, Muslim people have been given so much of wealth by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from different direction. So that is another thing. And then also he said that, the last thing he said basically, that, there will be a time, all the people, there will be a fitna actually, there will be fitna, and all the houses of the Arab will be affected. Now the scholar, what kind of fitna is that? Some said this is the current fitna, the war, bombing, all these things, and it's affected every house of the Arab nation. And by Arab he means the Muslim people, because at that time only the Arab were the Muslim at that time, right? So he said that every Muslim houses will be affected. Some people say the media, because the media is everywhere in there, so everybody has a TV or internet or in their house, and there's a lot of things coming from the media, and that's creating a fitna or something. So some scholars said that, but we cannot say for sure. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is that fitna. We can just presume that this is the prediction from the hadith. So these are the 6 things that he said, inshallah ta'ala. The next one, the miracle of the waters and the karam of Sahaba. So it happens a lot of times, not only in Battle of Tabuq, other times that the Sahaba got very thirsty, they didn't have water and everything, and Rasulullah put his hand in a small bucket of water, and the water was pouring, and they have this. That happened. Also, there sometimes it happens that he made dua from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make water, and he put finger like this, and the water come between 2 fingers. And it happens twice actually on the battle of the Tabuq and also Battle of Hunain. 2 times it happened that the water was coming as if like a fountain from the middle of two of his fingers, and the Sahaba drank from that. It is a blessing it's a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The karama means whatever happens to the Prophet is called miracle or mu'jiza. But for karama means, some righteous people, sometimes something, something like a miracle nature happened to them, and one of the Sahaba, two of the Sahaba got lost in the dark, and they couldn't find their way back because it was a new area for them. So what happened to them? One of the Sahaba, he has his all 5 fingers has light on it, kind of like this, a light on it, and this is authentically narrated in the books of Tabarani and everything. That this is what happened with one of the Sahaba, and he came back, he found his way, and he told this to Rasulullah. Rasulullah said, this is a karama from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next thing, that the story of Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. This is a beautiful story, and we mentioned it before once in another event. That this is the only one Sahaba behind whom Rasulullah prayed. So when Rasulullah was Rasulullah, everybody always prayed behind him. He was the Imam. So what happened one morning? He woke up and he was late because there's no enough water to make wudu. So one of the Sahaba got some water from the other place, and Rasulullah doing wudu. And that time it was late. The sun was already rising. So Sahaba, they already started praying. Imagine this scene. They know Rasulullah is there. But because the time is going out, the sun is rising, they didn't even wait for Rasulullah because they know Salah is more important. The Salah on the time is more important. So they started the Salah. And Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he was pushed forward by Umar and Usman. Then you led the prayer. So Abdul Rahman ibn Auf was leading the prayer, and Rasulullah was a bit late for the wudu. So then he came and he stand behind the line, and people saw that he's coming. So they made little commotion, like people say, okay, he's there, like little movement in the prayer. So Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he also understood that Rasulullah is there. So he was trying to step back. That he's giving the space to Rasulullah, but Rasulullah made a motion to the other people, no, you keep continuing. And that time it was the second rakah of the Fajr. So Rasulullah missed first rakah. This is the second rakah. So in the whole second rakah, he prayed behind Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. And after the rakah, after the prayer finished, then he and the other Sahaba who brought the water for him, both of them, they stood up and finished the prayer. And from that we know how to finish the prayer. Sometimes we came late, and we missed the one prayer, and this is the fiqh issue based on this incident. Rasulullah missed one rakah, and he prayed behind Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. There's another incident we'll come to it later about Abu Bakr, when Rasulullah was just before 2 or 3 days before his death. But that time actually Abu Bakr was leading the prayer, and Rasulullah came back from his room, but he was standing beside Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr actually stayed back. Rasulullah said, you continue, but Abu Bakr didn't continue, and Rasulullah lead the prayer while he was sitting. So technically he didn't lead one single rakah. He was just maybe for a few seconds he was before Rasulullah, but he didn't complete that rakah. Rasulullah did complete that rakah. But for Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he completed the whole second rakah of the Fajr prayer, and Rasulullah was behind him. And as far as we know, he is the only human being, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, that a human being who led the prayer, and some prophet, some Rasul prayed behind him. He is the only person. No other prophet also prayed before any Sahaba or any kind of thing. So he is the only man. So this is a great honor for Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. Another quick story about another Sahaba. His name is Abdullah Julbidadain. What is the story of this Sahaba? He passed away in one of the night in the Tabuq. Nobody knows any story about this, but his name was Abdullah Julbidadain. Julbidadain means the owner of 2 cheap garments. That is what it means in Arabic. When he accepted Islam, his tribe, kicked him out because he's a Muslim. And he didn't have any cloth. He had only one piece of cloth. And then when he came to Medina, because he was feeling a bit shy, he cut this cloth in 2 pieces, and he put around 2 pieces, one in the top, one on the bottom. That one cloth. So that's why he got the name Abdullah Zulbidadain. He is the owner of the 2 cheap cloths. So this person died. And Abdullah ibn Masud narrated this incident. He said that I woke up in the morning and I saw fire, little bit of fire like light near the tent of Rasulullah, and I went close and I saw Rasulullah, Abu Bakr and Umar, they are doing the grave, they are digging the grave, and Abdullah Julbidadain was dead, and Rasulullah inside the grave, and he's asking to Umar and Abu Bakr, give me his body. So they gave the body to Rasulullah, and Rasulullah put him in the grave. Imagine, he is the leader of the whole army, and he's digging their own grave, and he's putting them. And then he said, when he was burying him, he said, oh Allah, I am happy with this servant of you, and you please also be happy. So he made a dua for Abdullah Julbidadain, and Abdullah ibn Masud, he was looking from the far away, and he said, oh yeah, Laitan, how I wish that I would be the dead body. what a beautiful dua. The Rasulullah with his own hand is putting him in the grave and making a special dua for this Abdullah ibn Julbidanain. And that's what we know about this incident, that it is an honor for Abdullah ibn Julbidanain, that he has been buried by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, as I said before, in this battle there's a lot of fiqh issue. If you read fiqh book, if you read and you will see that what is this hadith coming from, you will see most of the hadith comes from this battle of Tabuq, because he stayed there for a long day. So the fiqh of wudu, we know usually the wudu 3 times, we do 3 times. But in one of the morning, Rasulullah did wudu only one time, everything one time. And from that we know even 1 time is also allowed. As you all know that 3 times is better, it's sunnah, but 1 time is also allowed. See the 1 time. Also for the wudu, one day he was doing wudu and it was very cold at that time because it's up north in Syria. So the Sahaba, he gave the water to pour in the leg of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah, no, because I have these socks when I had wudu. So I just want to massa. So that is another fiqh we know, that if you have a socks and you do any kind of socks, some say leather sock only, but some say the thick pair of socks, and you had, when you put the socks on, you had wudu, and then you broke your wudu on the way to work or something, you can still do a massa on the socks. And also with the turban, not the hat. If you have a turban, like proper turban, you don't have to do the whole massa. You can just touch some water from the turban. And some scholar did qiyas on that even the women who wear hijab, and if they are in a place where they cannot take the hijab, they can do a massa on top of their hijab, and they don't need to take it off, if it is like in a public place or something. So that is also this issue. Also the qasr prayer. Rasulullah did all the time, all 20 days, he did qasr, meaning he did prayer, shorter prayer. But on his way, he did combine. So Rasulullah, on the journey from Medina to the Tabuq, the journey he did combine. So Zuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha, combine and short. But when in the Tabuq, he did qasr. So he prayed 5 times, but every prayer is 2 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah, like this. He never ever joined or combined when he was in the place of the destination. So meaning I'm going here from Brisbane or something. So on my journey, if I stop over, I can combine. And when I went to journey, when you're going to Brisbane, that time the most authentic sunnah is to do qasr, like only 2 rakah, but not combine at that time. So that is what we know from this incident. Also the fiqh of sutra, meaning when he is to pray in the desert, he has to have put something in front of him. As you know the sutra, what do you mean the sutra? And some Sahaba asked, oh Ya Rasulullah, how long should be the sutra? He said as long as like a camel saddle, like as long as a small place and you need to do sujud or whatever it is. And also the fiqh of dead animals, he was passing there one day and he saw a dead animal and he said, why don't you get benefit? So the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, it's dead. It's haram for us, we cannot eat meat or anything. But he said, you cannot eat meat, that's fine, it's haram, but you can use the skin as long as you tan the skin. And this is also happened in the battle of Tabuq, that you can use the skin of a dead animal as long as you tan it or something. So that is one of the fiqh issue we have from here. Then the way back to Medina and the Qawm Samud, meaning when they are coming back, so the Tabuq is over now, they're coming back to Medina, and they stayed in a place called Al-Hijr. Al-Hijr is the place of where the Samud, people of Samud was there. The Qawm Salih, the Prophet Salih alayhi salam was sent there, and these people of Samud, they were very interesting people in the sense, at that time they have their homes carved of stone, and this place is still there. If you go to Hajj or something, there are some trips that you can go to this place near the Tabuq. They have some journey from the Medina or from Makkah to there. You can see them, they're still there. That they have houses made carved from the mountains, and that's why they're still there, because I don't know how they do it, and historians still they don't know like what are the tools they use to carve things. Even their bed, like they have a bed that is carved into the mountain. So at that place they went, and Rasulullah warned the Sahaba that this is a place of punishment. Allah punished them because they killed the camel. As you all know the story, that they had a big camel. Allah made a big camel out of the stone, and that camel was giving milk for one day, enough milk to satisfy all the people of the city. And the next day, this camel used to drink all the water of the city. And some people, they disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ayah, and they kill the camel. So Rasulullah said this is the place of azab. So be careful, don't go out at night, and don't use the water. There was a big well, say like well, and said Rasulullah, don't use any water for cooking or not even for wudu. So if you are in this place and you need water, you cannot use that water. That is haram water. We cannot use that water for wudu or anything or eating. So Rasulullah said, don't do this. But 2 of the Sahaba by mistake, At night they went away, and some the description says one of them got crazy, something happened, and another one said the wind came, because Allah punished these people with not with the wind but with the sound, like a special sound, and they all died with that sound, as mentioned in the Quran. But one of the Sahaba, he said, the wind took him too far away, and he was sick for a long time. He came back, and Rasulullah made dua for him, and he became well, inshallah ta'ala. The next thing, the dua for the tired animals, and another prediction. So what does it mean? Basically, when they're coming back, it's a long journey, so that the camels and the horses of the Sahaba, they became very tired, and they went to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, they became very thirsty, they are not walking anymore, they are not even doing anything. We are trying to hit them to walk, and then, so please make dua for me, dua for the camels. So Rasulullah said, okay, bring all the camels to me, and then he raised his hand and he made the dua that, Allah, these are your animals, and you make them strong and you make them weak. So Allah, please help us to make them strong, to go over the land and the sea. Now this hadith was described by a Sahaba called Fudala. His Sahaba said, and after this dua, the camel becomes strong and everything, so they reach Medina and everything fine. But he said Rasulullah made the dua for sea and the land and the sea. We understand land, but how can we understand the sea? But later on, this Sahaba, same Sahaba, when the Muslim conquered the Cyprus in the time of Muawiyah, the Osman started this one, but Muawiyah conquered the country called Cyprus. For 300 years, it was under the rule of the Sahaba and Tabuq. And they conquered, and the Cyprus is an island, and they went through the ship. That is the first time the Muslim had a naval army. Osman, he started the naval army, and the conquer was done by Muawiyah. So they went to Cyprus, and that time the Fudala was there, and he said, now I understand why Rasulullah made the dua for the land and the sea. And then the Cyprus was under the Muslim for 300 years, then it went away, and there's Ottoman empires come later on, they also conquered this one later on, but that's a different story. We'll go through it another time. And also, the dua for the rain and the aqid of the Tawheed. So one of the time also he made dua for the rain because it was so hot and everything. So the next, on that night, it was raining because Allah accepted Rasulullah the dua. But in the morning, Rasulullah said, some of you who said last night, my Rabb, my Allah told me that they have disbelief. Why? Because some of them said, the rain came because of the star. Because they have some, zodiac sign or something. They said because of this star going from this to this, that's why we had the rain. Not because of, so this is a kufr. And from this incident, the big aqidah issue that, we are not allowed to use the charm or, the lucky charm or some wording or bad luck to 13 numbers. And I talked about this in one of the Friday lecture, that, these are not allowed in Islam. We should not have, ascribe blessings to anything but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because of this day, or not because of the star, not because of the charm or talisman or tabiz, or whatever it is, nothing like that. But yes, some scholars have said Quran is a different thing. You can keep Quran for blessing, like some people keep Quran in the car or somewhere. That is allowed because Quran is the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is not separate from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is a part, actually one of the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So some scholars say that's fine, Quran is fine, but other things are not allowed in Islam. Now, one of the times the Rasulullah lost his camel. When he's coming back to Medina, he stayed back somewhere, but his camel was lost. And the munafiqun, this battle, a lot of munafiqun attended. And some munafiqun stayed at Medina. So some of the munafiqun said that, this guy is a prophet. Astaghfirullah, they said like this. So this guy is a prophet, a Rasul of Allah, but he doesn't know where his camel is. And he's telling us this and this and this. So they made fun. And when they say this thing, Rasulullah was far away. His tent was far away. But one of the guy was with the Rasulullah at that time. So Rasulullah said, some of you told just these things. And Allah told me now, because I'm a Rasul, I'm a human being, I'm a Rasul, but I'm a human being. And I only know things that Allah told me. Now Allah told me that my camel is in that place. Go and get my camel. So that guy went and saw the camel from there. And when he was coming back, he come back through those people, those munafiqun, they made this comment. And they said, what happened now? Rasulullah, Wahi came and Rasulullah told us where is the camel. And then one of the guys said, this guy was making, disgusting comment of Rasulullah. And then this guy said, you are Adu Allah, you are the enemy of Allah, you should make tawbah and everything. And that's what happened, and this is what the munafiqun comment. And once he said that Sahaba who got the camel, he said, you are very bad, you made a very bad comment, and I'm going to complain against you to Rasulullah. So he said, I'm going to make a complaint when I see Rasulullah next time. So he went to make complaint to Rasulullah about this guy. And this guy, Munafiqun, he also was running after him just to make an excuse. They know now Rasulullah will be angry after listening to this, this comment. So he was also running behind him. And as soon as he reached Rasulullah, the Munafiqun, he reached Rasulullah, he saw Rasulullah is in the wahi, because when the wahi used to come to Rasulullah, he used to lower his head, and you can understand that he's receiving something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as he speak, Allah sent some ayah of the Quran of Surah At-Tawbah regarding this incident. And it is very interesting that this guy is coming, and just before he's coming, Allah is saying that they will ask you, when you ask them why did you make this kind of comment, they will say that we are just having some fun, some jokes, nothing serious. That they will say. So then this is the ayah in the Surah At-Tawbah. I'll show you the ayah now. They say that and Allah is saying that they will say they made fun of you. This is just a fun time we are having. I was not serious about you. That's that we do sometimes. Then Allah said in the same ayah, tell them you are not allowed to make fun or joke with Allah or His Rasul. And if you do this, the next ayah Allah said, wa kafartu, meaning you have done kufr. You have no iman at the moment. You have done kufr. And according to this, all the scholars say if you make fun of Rasulullah or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your iman is finished. You have to take shahada again and accept Islam again. That is the ruling. We are not at any cost make any kind of fun with Allah and His Rasul. And that is the last thing. Actually, the entering to Medina. So when they come to the Medina, and they came from the side of the north, so they went up north, right? So they are coming down to Medina, and they enter into, and one of few Sahaba, the people the elderly, they stayed back in Medina, as you know. So they were all welcoming Rasulullah, and all the ladies were also there, because after 2 months or 2.5 months they're coming back. So everyone they're welcoming. And this is when the song, the famous song, does anyone know the famous song that our kids song? Tala al Badru Alayna? Anybody? It's famous. And if you go to Hajj, but there's a big misconception about this song. If you go to Hajj, you will see this to most of the group. They will tell the story that when Rasulullah made the hijrah, even in the movie, there's a movie about Rasulullah, the Message. It's a movie for a long time ago, probably 30, 40 years back. They made a movie and about the story, life of Rasulullah. In that movie also they show that when Rasulullah made hijrah from Makkah to Medina, people are standing on the gate of Medina, right, and welcoming Rasulullah. And they said this is the time they sing the song. But actually that's not the truth. Because Saniyatul Wada means, Saniya means a small hilltop or mountain. And Wada means the place where you say bye-bye, basically. Saniyatul Wada is still there if you go to Medina, but it is up north. You cannot come from Makkah to Medina from north. Because Makkah is south, so it's coming from there. And this is the event that when you're coming from Tabuq, that's when all the people had made this song, Tola al Badru Alayna, Ajab al Shukru Alayna, all this song. This is the time they welcome Rasulullah with this song that you are the light of the shining star of our time. So this is the song, meaning of the song. So this is the time this song was happened. So this is the ayah I was talking about, and we will finish it here inshallah ta'ala. Allah said, this is the Surah At-Tawbah, ayah 64, 65 and 66. Allah saying the hypocrites, the munafiqun, fear a list of surah, meaning that they are fear that Allah will expose them with the surah, and that's what Allah did here, right? And should be revealed about them, showing them what is in their hearts. Say, mock. See, go ahead and mock, but certainly Allah will bring to light all that fear. And say, if you ask them, they declare we are only talking idly or joking. We are just talking and joking. And say, what is Allah and His Messenger? Ask them, what is Allah? So you are mocking about Allah and His Messenger. And then Allah said, make no excuse. So, la taziru, meaning no make excuse. You disbelieve after you had believed. So for the munafiqun, because they are Muslim, right? They are munafiqun. Say, you have disbelieved after you have believed. If we pardon some of you, we will punish others amongst you because they were mujrimun. So these are the 3 ayat that is about that incident. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish here, and we'll finish the battle of Tabuq. As soon as he came to Medina, after the battle of Tabuq, just few days after, the delegation was coming from different tribes, and that is the time, it's called the year of delegation. So inshallah ta'ala we'll finish it here. Jazakallahu khair, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.